Howdy, Delco. We got two great guests with us tonight. We got John and Melissa from the Let There Be Rock School. That's over on Mac Daddy Boulevard in, I believe that's Folsom, the actual address, right? Right between Mike and Emma's and Anna's, two great places to get cheesesteaks, right in what we like to call food district. We always think the golden mile of food is that stretch in Clifton Heights across from the Acme, the old bazaar, but the real mecca of food is that Folsom area with your Nifty 50s, your Mike and Emma's, they got the barbecue place. Why am I blank on that? Big Daddy.
Big Daddy, yeah.
Lord. Mike and
they are really good.
Delco Steaks, they were a great sponsor for Delco. They're right there. Check them out. The Charlie's is still, just right there. But anyway, now I'm hungry. But
now
I'm also
hungry?
also hungry for some freaking rock and saving the local scene and getting the kids up and moving, playing some tunes instead of smoking bongs and whatnot. So you guys are the proprietors of the Let There Be Rock School.
Yes, that's true.
And just to clarify, it is not the School of Rock. Correct. You guys are not associated with the 3 or 4 schools of rocks that come around here.
Correct.
Okay, good. That is a good thing to clarify because that is just like a common misconception, probably because of the Jack Black movie or whatever.
Right.
Did you guys found the Let There Be School, the Let There Be Rock School?
We did not.
Okay.
There was a first one in Frederick, Maryland.
Oh, okay. Okay, so you guys are like part of like kind of a chain going on?
It's John's best friend. They were he was talking about kind of a change of life that he wanted to do, and he was in the music scene for a long time and in management and whatever, and John gave him the idea to open the school, and they moved forward and opened it and had a really successful year. And then the next year John was managing big bands. He was internationally managing 15 bands at that point, and kind of going crazy out of his mind.
Wait, you were?
He was.
I was
Yes. Yeah.
So wait, the first
She says big bands. Yeah, you want to bring that down a notch.
Oh, we'll get to those names in a second. You said the first one started in Frederick, Maryland.
Yes.
You knew of this person that started it down.
Yeah, it was a great friend of mine. So he opened the Frederick School, and over the next year we just fell in love with it. Bands I was working with, they were going through there on tour. I was taking them over for meet and
literally
greets.
Would they stop there?
Yeah, we'd go over and do like a meet and greet and hang out with the kids.
You ever been to Frederick, Maryland?
I love Frederick.
Oh my God, it's like Lansdowne, but like not. It's like it has a very same like atmosphere to it, physique. It's very, it's weird. It's very.
It's really built up right now.
It's very because it's like super high end, but super. You can get super hillbilly in certain parts. Do you know what famous song was written in Frederick, Maryland? The national anthem.
What?
Yeah, the Frederick.
Look at you pulling out the trivia.
He wrote it there, and that's why they named the town after it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
There's your tie-in to Maryland.
Now they can go to bed and go happy.
Definitely not a rock song.
Yeah.
Oh, it can be. How many
Can
have
rock.
you taught the national anthem to any students?
Actually, all the time.
No, I was going to say. I heard it as a vocalist who doesn't know notes. I heard it as a key-wise one of the hardest ones to do with all the leaps and jumps and whatnot.
It is. It's very hard. The key to it, actually, I've taught people that have sung it for the Eagles, for the Sixers, the Redskins, yeah. It's a hard one. If you don't start in the right place, you will completely ruin that song.
I was going to say, do people come to learn that one song? Because a lot of people who end up singing that don't sing normally.
That's
that's their one
I've
thing.
had people come in just for one-off specific things that they were like, I need to learn this, and that would be one of them. Yeah.
Wow.
But so we'd be remiss without asking which bands were you managing?
So I was managing a lot of heavier stuff, Tour, Ozfest, post-hardcore bands.
Name them.
Okay, all right.
I may not look like I was a former hardcore kid, but I am.
I'm from Clifton. I'm a hammer not by choice, but by birth.
Yesterday in an argument, I literally referenced Earth Crisis, Glassjaw, and there was another one that I brought up. But yeah.
All right.
Nice.
Yeah, it doesn't come up every day. Yeah. So I was managing a band called Every Time I Die.
Yeah.
It was still to this day one of my favorite bands of all time.
I
had a Philly band, smaller metal band called A Life Once Lost. That was just a great metal band. Emo band called Silverstein.
Yeah, I remember
It's still out there, just killing it.
I remember them.
Yeah, they were great. I had a on that.
They're actually a pretty big name.
They're an
Yeah,
awesome band.
Yeah, that's cool to know them. Yeah.
There was a band that was killing it at the time, and they just didn't. Unfortunately, they didn't last. They were called Chiodos, and they were in that Warped Tour space, becoming one of the biggest bands out there. They were inside of 3 years, like a headliner at Warped Tour. We were doing more merch at Hot Topic than any other band, and they were just incredible. And that thing, that was one of the bands in that space. It was like, man, it just skyrocketed.
Were they their own downfall, or was it like
1000%?
Oh, okay. It wasn't like so the Warped Tour like changed its like personality over the years. Like it used to be like, genuinely like hard punk and whatnot. Then it became like the pop punk. Then the pop punk morphed into like full-fledged emo.
Right.
Then the emo worked into like literally like keyboards and like electronics. And
Right.
Now it's kind of like metalcore mixed with that.
It's gone now.
Yeah.
Totally gone. It was still run. So Kevin Lyman was the owner of Warped Tour. It was one of the best run festivals as a manager we were ever a part of. It was incredible.
It was cool to like literally be able to see, bands do 25 minutes and keep it rotating and moving and whatnot. That's just cool in itself.
Yeah, it was the coolest festival out there, man.
But you guys, so when did you open the one in Ridley?
2011.
2011. Mm-hmm. Was that its first location? It's just been in that building the whole time?
No.
Oh, no.
Okay.
Yeah, we were around the corner. We were where the newer Wawa is, across from Nifty 50s.
Okay. Yes, across from the there's a Swiss Farms like right there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. I do
we were in
that
location, and then Wawa came around,
you guys
and then
got
they got the
We got
location.
something out by Wawa.
What was the building you guys used to?
Yeah.
What?
Booted.
What was the building? What used to be in the building?
Cannons.
Yeah, it's a Cannon.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No. Cannon was Cannon's florist was where our old building was. Then we moved in.
That's what I
where
thought you were
we're at
saying.
now
Yeah.
used to be a furniture store.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
It was Darrow's or something.
Yeah,
like that.
Darrow's. Yeah, I
Yeah.
remember that exactly. I'm 40. I'm old, so I understand.
You guys opened in 2011.
Yeah.
And how did you guys just get into the? So don't wonder, both of you guys from Delaware County.
I am. Melissa's
He
not.
is. I'm
Okay.
not.
Where are you from?
I'm from more like northern central New Jersey.
So like Morrisville.
A little more central, Clark, New Jersey, 135 off the Parkway. People from New Jersey
I-
identify themselves by the Parkway.
Well,
exits.
Parkway.
I
Yeah.
know exactly where that is because I drove to Asbury Park on
Oh, nice.
Saturday, and I drove since '95 shut down. You have to drive across the entire state of New Jersey.
Didn't
There
your
you
didn't your
go.
car
Didn't see
drive
that.
through there when the crackhead stole it?
The crackhead drove it to Princeton, New Jersey.
Oh, okay,
now.
that's right. I'm
Jeez.
sorry. Yeah, that's a true story.
Do we have time for that story?
It's a kind of a rock story because he got just done finishing doing a show.
It was a precursor to Delco Day, technically.
Yeah, that's absolutely.
Delco Day used to be called Delco Fest, and it was like a bunch of punk bands or whatever. And that year, we decided to do it with Rusty Nail, and I decided to pack up at the end. And it was cold, so I left my car running directly out front with the door open and the heat on, and went back in to say bye to people, and that took about an hour. So a female crackhead, stole my car in Ardmore,
Oh,
a place you wouldn't expect a crackhead to steal your car, Ardmore, and drove it to a place you do not expect a crackhead to drive your car to, Princeton, New Jersey, outside of
my
Professor's
God.
house.
Right?
no way.
And it got tracked down because Al reminded me that I left my cell phone in my glove compartment and it had a GPS on it.
Oh my God!
We
it's
never would have
genius.
found it because, love you, Havertown Police. You kind of forgot to call it in stolen when I let you know it was stolen.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
He's like, I called the police. Now I'm calling you. I'm like, you should have called me first. I'll find it.
So yeah, that was
That was
anyway,
a-
so
yeah,
you're from Clark, New
precursor to
Jersey. What
Delco
brings you
Day.
down to the greater Delaware County area.
I went to school to college in Westchester.
Okay.
Lived there for a while, and then I ended up in Philly and New York. I was running a talent agency. I was in the entertainment business for a long time before I started doing this. I was an agent in New York and placed a lot of models and actors
Okay.
all across the world with
Name drop.
big agencies. I would say the person that I found that is the most successful today is Kristen Ritter, who's Jessica Jones from Marvel.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
She's one of my finds.
Did you get her into Breaking Bad?
Oh, I can't even watch that. What happens to her on Breaking Bad
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
scene that you know what I'm talking
I know
about?
what
Like
you're talking
literally tell John. I was like,
Yeah.
oh my God, my baby. Like I couldn't even watch. I
We
can't
actually tried to
even
get her out
talk
of Breaking
about it.
Bad by accident. Remember, we tried to hire her for a video, and she's like, "I'm on this new show. It's like I can't do this right now.
Yeah,
We were trying to hire her
so
for a
funny.
video.
Yeah. So
I
so,
love
yeah,
Jessica
so
Jones too. It's such a great show.
Kristen, I
right?
got her first big contract in New York, and she did extremely well. She was the new face of the world. She was I signed her to Elite, and she was in Nice, France, and won Elite's big contest, which is what Cindy Crawford and Claudia Schiffer
Oh.
won, and Kristen won it. So she became
Now look at you, listen
It's
to
like
these
the Miss
ugly bugs
Universe
all
of-
day.
she became like the new face, and I always used to say to her, and you know, I talked to her on the phone, like, because she had agents at Elite that she was working with, and I was freelancing for a bunch of agencies at the time, so I would catch up with her, and we would talk about the things she's doing. I'm like, I know you're doing really great, but you're not a model, Kristen. And she's like, what are you talking about? And I'm like, you're not a model, and I'm like, you're an actress. And so basically,
Yeah.
I was just like, I knew she was gonna act, and then you know, kind of talked her into going to that side of it, and it obviously worked. Cool thing about Kristen is that she was a bass player in a band, and back then I wasn't really doing what I do now, but I'll always remember that she was wearing Doc Martens, a little, you know,
Yeah.
little dress with Doc Martens, and was a bass player in a band.
Is she not John Ritter's daughter?
No.
I've been living a lie.
You
My
have.
life.
That's a total
Not at
lie.
all.
It's
No.
about time you cleared that
She
up.
was from our area, so
Oh, was
if she's
she?
ever in the area, get her on the show, because she's
100%.
Really?
she's suburbs. I can't remember specifically what town she's from, but she's from the area. Yeah.
Oh.
So Kristen, I don't know if you guys know that show, Dawson's Creek at all, but that was
Oh.
obviously a huge show. So Jack from Dawson's Creek, who was like one of the show's favorites, he was another.
Mike Huberband
Yeah.
plays the theme from Dawson's Creek.
Oh, that's so
every
fun.
show.
See, it's all coming together.
So he's on Riverdale now.
Bloomsburg, it says she's from.
Yeah. Bloomsburg. Oh, okay.
And Whitney, you just.
Oh, and Whitney Cummings.
Oh, she's
Okay.
is a good. It was a good friend of mine. I worked with her for a while, and yeah. So that's what I used to do. That was my old life. I wanted to be an agent from when I was a kid. You know, I was always interested in that, and then I just went and did it. And I had a fortunate situation. The agency that I was working at, the director that was there that I was working directly under, was leaving, and so she asked me to step in and take the role. So I became the director of that agency at like 23 years
My
old.
Lord.
And so I was a very young agent
The prodigal
in New
daughter.
York, doing like really cool things in a really wild scene, and kind of I have a lot of stories about people that you'd know.
Well, that means we'll be back on the show then to tell a story.
Celebs, you know, all those crazy New York VIP room stories.
And
But
you-
yeah, I
and
was
you
in the
gave
middle
it-
of all that.
You gave it all up to be like, I need to teach these kids.
Well,
Van
no,
Halen
there was a
stories.
whole career in the middle of that, because what happened was I decided to leave there because I kind of felt my calling was music.
Okay.
And I was very successful at what I was doing, and I thought I could transition what I was doing to musicians. So I started finding musicians and scouting musicians that I thought I could get record deals. And that's what I started to do, and I was kind of working that path and was deciding. It was only, I'm talking like 2 months of time before one thing happened to the next.
What was the time
and,
frame that this was going on?
This was like 96 maybe.
Okay.
So then all of a sudden out of nowhere, I got a call from CBS, which at the time locally was 94 WYSP.
Mm-hmm.
They called me in for a meeting, and I bring my portfolio because I was still working all the other talent that I had, you know, in my bag, you know, and I'm freelancing and doing this and that, and find musicians and models and actors and whatever. So they called me in, and they were like telling me what they were looking for. They wanted a girl that could do this and that and had all these skills and whatever. And I was like, I don't think I have a girl like that. I'm like, I've never not been able to fulfill a client request. And I felt like not good about it. I was like, I don't think I have that girl. And so I was honest. I said, I'm going to really dig deep and try to find you this girl, but I don't know if I have that right now, but I'm going to dig deep. And they're like, no, we're talking about you. We want to hire you.
I was going to say, were they asking about you? That's what it sounded like.
So basically that day I got offered a job to be a major radio personality in Philadelphia. And I turned it down. I turned it down because I was already doing like these, like kind of really cool things in a career path behind the scenes, and they were going to throw me out in the spotlight and do all this stuff. And I loved what I did, and I was doing really well. And it's kind of like a different level of work, and I wasn't sure what it meant, and then they brought me in 3 times. The third time they said, "Why aren't you taking this job?" And I said, "I really want to work with musicians, and I want to network myself into the music scene and transition from what I was doing. I thought I needed to be in New York to do that." And they said, "We're gonna put you in front of every rock star in the world, and you're gonna meet everybody in the music business."
Well,
and I was like, this is like a light bulb went off, and I was like, oh, and they were quote unquote, because I don't want to sound weird, but they're like, "And make you famous so that you actually have access to these people." So I was like, oh, well, that's pretty cool. Okay, I'll take the job. So anyway, I did take it, and I started doing radio at WYSP. Never did it before. And they had me do a few overnight shifts just to get my feet wet. And then I immediately went on and was working with everybody from the Howard Stern show. Gary and I did a lot of stuff together, Baba Booey. And then John DeBella, he came later onto the station, but I kind of co-hosted with John on all kinds of stuff. And then I did afternoons with Cousin Ed every single day for years. And then
where I know you from.
That's me. So then I did that for a very long time, for a lot of years. I did work myself into the music business. I helped people get record deals. I worked with a ton of musicians on the side. And I always kept my feet in doing the talent stuff and doing all of that while I was doing everything that I was doing in front of the spotlight too. So I got both sides of it. So then I met John, which was like kind of we met at a show. We met at a show. We met at a show.
I think you did it really creepy, by the way.
Let's go full new.
He's going to tell you that I stalked you, and that may.
No, you say that. I don't say
that. No, I didn't stalk
was
him.
Was it a Limp Bizkit show?
Oh my God, that's really weird.
No, it wasn't.
No, but I was working with.
No, but I
kind of working with
hers with Fred Durst.
Yeah.
Accidentally, because I wouldn't eat his mom's beef jerky.
Fred Durst.
Yes.
Yeah, I had an artist that he was interested in, and we were both gonna kind of like manage them. So.
A puddle of mud.
They were really annoyed with me because we were on the bus, and he was there to have a meeting with Melissa, and they were offering me beef jerky. I'm like, I don't eat it, and they were like, well, Fred's mom made it. I was like, I just don't eat beef jerky. And
you don't do that to Southern boys.
Yeah, because my mom makes the best beef jerky ever. I'm like, I just don't eat beef jerky.
Yeah.
And Melissa just said the other day, she's like, remember that time you ruined my deal with Fred because of beef jerky?
Did you go hang out with him on his yacht party he threw in October?
No, we did not.
Oh, I went to that.
We weren't invited.
Number one, he's so much smaller than you would think.
He is small, right?
Yeah. He asked me to pick him up and put him on a table.
Oh my God,
hysterical!
Then he jumped off the table on.
I would like to see that picture. He was cool though. I mean, it was fun. We actually, like, you wouldn't think it, but we related on a business level. At the time, he did a deal with Steven Spielberg where he had kind of like an imprint like movie.
Because he's like a director in his own.
Yeah,
mind,
he
right?
did, and
he did that Halle Berry movie, right?
He had
Gothica.
Yeah,
he did.
Yeah, and he had.
That was him.
He did. He did very well with it for like a little bit, and
you do a Who cover for that soundtrack?
Yeah, Blue Eyes.
He also he directed like all the bands that he went out and signed, like Stained and Puddle of Mud. He directed most of their music videos to start, so just had in his own pockets. They were decent videos.
I don't hate on them.
Yeah. So that's my life in the past.
That's a solid life.
Right?
And then we had our well, we met. We skipped over all that. He was cute. And we got married. I thought he was cute, and then we got married. And we had our daughters, and we kind of needed to kind of plant some kind of roots because of that. He was all over the place. I was, traveling all over the place. I was still doing radio in. I forgot to tell you that I ended up with WNEW in New York. So I was on 102.7 in New York. I was also on the radio in DC, and we were kind of getting syndicated. I did a bunch of stuff with Opie and Anthony. They were on my station.
I remember that.
So we got syndicated. And
were you part of the P for a Week contest?
I don't even know. They were crazy. But I made a good decision because I told my general manager that I really wanted to represent the whole station instead of just them, because I thought if they ever do anything wrong, I'm not going down with that ship.
She
And
kept
then
telling me
they
they're
did.
going to
I'm
ruin
like,
it.
they are going to get fired. And then they did. And I was
hold your pee for a
I
week
was the
contest.
only one that still had my job at 102.7, including my GM and everybody above him that approved whatever they did. So I was the only one that still had my job. And then we had our daughter and kind of settled down a little bit. Well, no, actually, he went and did all his management stuff. I was freelancing, doing all kinds of projects, which were kind of cool.
So
Had
other than
another
that, you guys
radio
are
show.
lazy. You don't
Super
do
lazy.
anything. Yeah, like
Super
you guys are
unmotivated,
boring
super lazy.
people. Yeah.
Oh, I had another radio show, and at
Of
the
course you
time,
did.
yeah, it was called The Well-Advised Woman. It was an AM talk show. That was super
That was
cool.
awesome.
Yeah, it was
What
really cool.
city and what station?
That was New Jersey. God, what was the
it the Hawk?
station? Like DAS or like
Was that the
I
Hawk?
don't even.
They had their own like
remember.
94.5 the Hawk.
It was
like
an AM.
classic rock.
It was an
Oh,
AM
okay.
talk station that was doing really well. I had that show, and I was also at the time like doing all the arena hosting. Bon Jovi actually hired me when the Soul came around to do the Wells Fargo.
Your voice sounded a
arena
little deflated
hosting.
when you said Bon Jovi.
Well, because he doesn't do it anymore, and everything I've done is like like the building's not there anymore for YSP. Like the Soul's not, everything doesn't exist anymore. So it's kind of bittersweet.
Where was YSP's headquarters? Like, no, I think
We were at Fifth and Market, literally like
Okay,
in the
that's
middle
why.
of everything, and
Okay.
the building, it's just not even there
Is that the
anymore.
Bourse building? No,
No,
building's
it's
across the
next
street,
door.
yeah.
It's now a big museum, which is lovely. But a lot of my things that I've done just are 102.7 is a different thing now. WYSP is WIP now.
Yeah.
So it's just a little bittersweet for me because I've done some super cool things and love to reminisce about it, and they're just not there anymore,
Right.
So I did that for 5 seasons with John until we won the championship, and then he left, I left.
Is it because he got that big party he never delivered on?
I don't even know.
That was
That for the city.
It was 2008 when they beat
Yeah, I
the San Jose
remember.
Earthquakes. He said, if we win, we're going to do this big parade. And then he never did it. And then
We
he
did a
Wow.
thing. I was there. We
Mhm.
were on stage in the middle of Broad Street.
How many people showed up?
It was good. I don't think there was an actual parade, but
There. He said he was gonna, end the Philly sports curse, and we're like, yeah, he did it. And then the Phillies won like 3 months later. So everyone forgave Bon Jovi. Then the Arena League went under for the 90th.
yeah,
time.
it was crazy. That was the
Actually,
whole
it's
thing.
back.
I know.
Yeah, it's
They
back.
just I don't know if like the Soul's back, but they
Yeah.
I think with the USFL and XFL, they thought, oh, wow, throw another football league that half the people aren't going to watch again.
Yeah.
The Arena League used to be one of my clients at work, and
Oh,
I had to
cool.
do like 5 and 6 year previous broadcasts, and they were great because they were always missing batches of 2-3 years because they would just operate, go out of business, cancel the season.
The funniest
go out
part
of
is their
business.
last season, it was the Seoul versus Albany team for the championship, and they were both owned by the same guy.
Oh, that's
Oh, really?
crazy.
Charles owns them.
Yep,
Right?
he was
Yeah.
both of them. So he's like, I'm like, so like, are you gonna sit in the middle or something? How does this work out?
Yeah, he was a partner in the Soul, and then he just stayed on.
Mhm.
The cool thing about working for YSP is I got to work with all the sports teams. So I worked with the Eagles for years and worked with Mike Quick a lot.
So she got to work with Vinny the Crumb. There's always a plus.
Vinny, yeah,
Yeah,
Vinny, I
he
still
did.
talk to Vinny. Yeah.
We've talked to him a
Vinny's
few times.
awesome.
Yeah,
He's a sweetheart.
he actually does the wing. He's the Philadelphia Wings
Yeah.
in arena announcer.
He and I did the Soul stuff together, and then he does the Wings. So I did the Phillies and Eagles. I used to be the co-host on the Coaches Show for a while.
Okay.
The Indy Reid.
Okay.
Um,
I remember that.
you do?
I do remember
Let's
that.
say we used to do Dave and Buster's. And it
Yeah,
was, like,
yeah. No, I remember. That's funny. I can recall that now.
That's
Actually,
crazy.
the last few years I was at the Soul. First time ever covering a sporting event as a media member, and that was the Philadelphia Soul. Was like the last 3 years they were there.
Crazy. Yeah, so that was a cool thing. So the fun thing for me is I've been able to do from sports to talent, the movies, models, musicians, and
You
then
just
we
have a
ended
keen eye
up
for talent.
working.
That's why she hasn't looked in your
opening
direction at all tonight.
That's true. It's like she has blinders on.
I actually, coming from being in this business, think you're both doing incrable.
Incredibly bad. You're
Incredibly
right.
bad. Yeah.
You had a thing.
You and my mom
I'm
both had the
enjoying
same review.
I'm doing great for a borderline homeless bear.
Borderline.
I love it.
Yeah. So okay, this is actually fascinating. Yeah. We completely forgot that it was.
Oh, by the way, you guys
Leatherby
run a
school.
Yeah, by the way, you guys run a school. Right?
So you guys opened in
We
20.
sidetrack people quick.
Oh, it's good.
You know, I hate to say it, but the one thing I actually really appreciate you guys having this on, because when we opened the school, John has, and he won't go into it because he doesn't ever like to just talk about himself, but I will. But he's done a ton of things, and he's incredibly good at it. And he's just done so much in the entertainment business as well. And we both kind of have this background and whatever, but we really never got an opportunity to kind of talk about that and base the school on that. You know what I mean? So it's become incredibly valuable in what we're doing and in the way we teach and in the way we've run the school and in the things we get involved with and kind of our own brand and our own stamp on this type of business. And it's not like we're going to sit there and kind of talk about ourselves and the things we've done. And it's not meant to be arrogant or weird in any kind of way, more so than we love what we've done. And we think, we know we have a lot of experience doing it. And we love that we're able to bring that to the families in the community and give that level of experience to these kids, because we know more than anyone, if somebody wants to pursue this seriously, they have to be ready to go by the time they're 15, 16.
Well, I'm glad
Yeah.
you brought that up, because that kind of makes a lot more sense in some ways. Like, because I mean, if I was to ask a general person, what do you think what your school is, like, well, it's a school to teach kids music and maybe just not their typical music. I said, I think there's more to it. Now that you explain it, this kid from Delco Day explains everything you just said. This kid is
Blake.
The greatest band introduction of all time, and that was going to be part of actually what exactly I was just going to say about, now that you explained that that it's not just basically just you're learning the scales and whatever. It's essentially a minor league program, like trying to get you out there. One thing I did notice out there, I think it was it 4 total bands that you guys had play at Delco Day?
It was 5.
5.
Yeah.
Each one was like unique in itself, and it wasn't necessarily like based on age or genre. It was based on like what they were going for. There's clearly one group of kids, they were younger, but they were like literally playing like Rush note for note. And you could tell those kids, number one, just knew what they were doing, but they were going for, they wanted to be the musicians, like to be the thinking man's ones, very much like a Rush or a prog rock band. But then there's other ones where it was just like Van Halen, high kicks, running around, high energy, and it's like they're here to be superstars.
Exactly.
And it was very cool how it meshed together, and you put together essentially perfect like units of.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I told his parents that day. I said, "Is it okay if you start calling him David Wee Roth?"
That's what I'm saying. Like, the kid walked in like, I'm the coolest dude in the yard. Like that.
He just
like
is.
He just
oozes
machismo. Like, I don't know what else to put it.
He just does.
In 25 years of being in bands and playing with bands and being on stage and being a diva myself, I have never heard a greater band introduction than him when he said, let's hear for guitarist, let's hear for bassist, let's hear for drummer, and obviously let's hear from me on the bass. And it's just like, yes.
We're working on bringing him out of his shell.
I know. Really. Work the personality on this kid, right?
Was he in the same band that they started with Eruption by Van Halen?
He was,
yeah.
All right. I remember the kids started playing Eruption. I literally just sat there and I was just like, I will not be outplayed at my own show. And sat there and did a double Jaeger.
Can I tell you a tiny quick story about him?
Yeah.
So sometimes if John has something to do, there's a girl that watches the desk for us, and she posted our TikTok is Delco Rock TikTok, and she posted on TikTok. She's like, I think the caption. She's like. When you're talking to a parent that walks in and you look on the video screen, because we have monitors in the rooms, she's like, when you look on the video screen and the kid's doing a backflip off the speakers, and then it's that the video stopped because she obviously ran up because the kid's doing backflips off the speaker, and then underneath it's Heather, his mom. She's like, that would be my kid. It was Blake.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. This kid is like, he knows he's cool. Like, this kid came out of the womb, I'm thinking, going, it's up. I'm back. Like
Oh,
hitting on a
yeah.
nurse
He
on his
just,
way out. Like he just doesn't care. Like
Yeah.
he
this guy.
just was able to get on stage with Sebastian Bach, and the video of it has got
They
like
do Youth Gone Wild together.
250,000
Yeah.
views.
2 weeks ago.
Love it.
They
Yeah.
sing Youth Gone Wild
And they look
together.
like it's definitely like the mini version
Yeah.
of him, you know?
It's like
Yeah.
somebody made Sebastian Bach a Build-A-Bear. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
That's
that's
Sebastian
awesome.
Bach's like 6'8" or something.
Yeah.
He's a monster of a man.
It's so
Yeah.
funny.
And since we're getting towards the end here, I want to real quick. Can you just tell us real quick? Give the information about your school, what people can maybe they wouldn't know that they can do there, how it works, and how to reach you guys, because I want to make sure that gets out
Sure.
there.
Okay, so you can reach us at letthereberockschool.com. There's a place where you can put your information in and we'll get back to you. You could go right to our Facebook, which is Delco Rock School or Let There Be Rock School.
LetThereBeRockSchool.com.
Right. And that's on Facebook, and you can DM us there. We're on Instagram under Delco Rock School. You can DM us there, and you can stop in anytime. We're right at McDade. We're in between Chick-fil-A and Rita's if you're local, or as you like to say.
We're fat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
if you get directions by cheesesteaks.
yeah, right.
We have. I absolutely have.
But literally, if it's after school hours, you can just walk in. We'll give you a tour of the place. A lot of people don't know that the building's as big as it is once you walk inside. There's a giant lounge where the kids hang out, write songs together, do homework, have fun, whatever. And then there's all kinds of lesson rooms and 2 giant live rooms upstairs. Rehearsal rooms.
We just start putting an arcade in. So
We put an arcade in. We've
now.
got air hockey and foosball and amps everywhere they can plug in and play. There's a drum kit right in the lounge.
And the place is communal, so the kids that are members can come over any day during the week that they want.
Okay.
All the equipment's available for everybody, so they have their scheduled lessons. They have band rehearsals that we put them in and organize, and there's a band director. But the place is available all week. So the kids literally just walk from school, come in, throw it down, start doing their homework, get up, go grab a guitar, go into a room. And like we said, we've made it very, a good creative space for them. So everything's available.
That's pretty amazing.
Guitars, any pianos, if the drum rooms are open, the kids can go jam. Or if they want to go play Pac-Man, it's there too.
Your setup for Delco Day was extremely efficient.
Oh,
yeah.
I literally saw
I
was like, man, you got 4 or 5 bands. It's gonna be a bunch of kids with their equipment they only know how to use. But you had like universal ones, simple ones that anyone could use, and you just mainstreamed it, and it was just.
Well, I remember
what they were doing. You knew what you were
He's
doing.
like to the minute.
I see him pulling up. We're like, all right, guys, let's go over and help. This guy's got a full van. He's doing it all by himself. So they ran over there to help you unpack. I'm like, this guy knows what he's doing. I like it.
I appreciate that.
You guys really have it well put together. But like once they sign up, so you said there's a band director. Is there specific teachers for each instrument? Is each
There is. Yeah, we've got 14 teachers now.
Oh wow.
Okay. And we have anywhere at any given time between 40 and 50 bands in the program.
Oh wow.
So we're rocking. We open the door at 3:30 and we are still there by 9:30 at night. And it's happening.
And we also have students that maybe don't just come for that. So like I've had plenty of vocal students that come where I'm teaching them performance. They're getting ready. I've gotten 2 people
Are you
on
the vocal coach?
American Idol. I'm sorry, on The Voice.
Are you the vocal coach?
I have been for a long time. Yeah.
That's awesome.
And performance and songwriting. So we've had a few people on The Voice, Showtime at the Apollo.
Really?
Yeah, we've done some pretty cool things.
Yeah.
We have a student that's was just on tour with Ace Frehley.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, we've done some super cool things out of
Oberk
there.
and I were in a pizza eating contest one time. Does that count for anything?
It really does. Who won?
Yeah, neither one of us.
No one.
Yeah, actually, we all paid for it the next day.
Cholesterol. That didn't work.
Yeah.
Where was the pizza from, though?
Do you remember the Rams Pizza Tavern, aka Ram's Head in Clifton Heights?
No.
They had it was a very unique, very like crackery, spicy kind of sauce. It's delightful. One of my favorite pizzas of all time until they stopped doing that.
Well, they sold and the guy tried to go cheap on everything. Everything sucks there now. So it is what it is. But I want to thank you guys for stopping by tonight. I mean,
this was a great comment.
I got you said, we maybe have another one and bring you guys back in. I mean, tell
Give us a quick plug of like the things coming up, because this will go out in a couple days, and that was I mean, we obviously got sidetracked with a great conversation, but you guys do. I mean, I don't want to just use the phrase, but you guys do essentially like recitals at like these places.
Yeah, we do rock shows.
It's equivalent.
Yeah, we call it they're rock shows. Yeah.
But yes, so we just did our big
rock
weekend of
cycles.
shows with all the bands. We do Tom and Jerry's for 2 days. We take over. We just did it last weekend, so we do like a couple hours on Saturday, a couple hours on Sunday, and we just that was this weekend. So now we're into what's going to be our fall show.
Yeah.
So which is going to end up being a Halloween themed show. All the
Cool
costume. And we'll do all
Playing a bunch of Misfits.
So who's dressing up like Marilyn Manson?
Misfits,
That's what I need to know.
Yeah.
Who's doing Rob Zombie? Whoever covers Rob Zombie, I want to
a
do
lot
that.
of zombies.
I got to see that then. That's awesome.
But the thing right now that we're in, this is our summer camp season. So we're smack dab in the middle of our first rock band summer camp. So that's our daytime program. So we're 9 a.m. to 2.
Oh, wow.
Kids walk in, right in the lessons, right in the band, and just bam, by Friday we play a show.
And this is for anybody who, if you've never played an instrument before, if you've been doing it for years.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Quick question. I have a problem at home with my son. He thinks he can sing. He is the worst singer.
I
He's
could
like
teach him.
he's his father.
We could
He
teach
can't.
him.
All right, because then I might bring him by.
I have to tell you,
'Cause-
I didn't know that when I started that someone with like no ability could actually end up being really good. I thought I could
All right, dude.
teach them.
I have an idea
But-
for a Delco
We
live.
have to have her teaching how to sing.
You actually end up
Can we do this? Like, to be
doing
honest, with
well.
on the
You
air?
can do it.
not on the air, but like maybe do like we record a few segments every time, and then I obviously here of all of us have zero musical talent. I can take a wax paper and come and break it. I'm terrible. Okay, I think she should have to teach me how to sing a single song and see if I can do it
Let's do
half
it.
decently. Or but you at least have some songs you can sing. You might not be the best singer.
I should be.
But you
standing
can-
in and
you
be
can
like,
carry
no,
it.
she's saying like this, then she can just straight up correct me.
Like
and be
I
"No,
can
that's
carry
wrong."
7 pianos before I can carry a single tune. Like that's
Wow.
true. Like that's how bad I am.
I've seen her work magic.
Well,
Absolutely.
It's
listen,
crazy.
I would literally be like, if I could get this big dumbass to do it, then anybody could do it. Like,
Oh, wait, you
I'd
could
be
be
a
a
commercial.
commercial,
Like,
yeah.
oh, look at you could be this bad.
Before and after.
Oh, you won't lose weight or look better, but you can sing better. You make you.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, most rock stars aren't always the best looking guys until they're rock stars. So hey, that might be my aim. Don't tell my wife.
It's true.
That's so
So
fun.
so you guys I know this is going to be pre-recorded, but you guys are playing Dining Under the Stars.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tomorrow night tomorrow night we're actually doing like an evening with, because it's super chill there, Dining Under the Stars. So we're doing an acoustic night with kind of like a meet the teachers. We're having 3 of our vocal teachers sing, and one back to summer camp. We're doing a songwriting summer camp.
Yeah.
And our vocal coach Melissa Manago, who's an incredible singer, incredible writer. She's also the songwriting professor at Drexel, and she's been one of our vocal coaches here for 9 years now. So
It's an all-star freaking lineup.
She's
dude.
got a
What the
song.
hell?
I can get her to quit.
She's got a single
Give me an hour
on
with her.
945 right now.
I
that they're
wrote a
playing.
love
Oh,
song
really?
about
Yeah.
yoga pants. I want her to critique it.
we can do that.
Oh
And
my
since you're
God.
saying it, so one of our guitar teachers and band directors has been there forever.
I thought you were going to say
His-
he's quitting and you want me to take over. I'm like,
You
I
want him to
don't
take
know the
over?
logic.
But his name's Virus, but he's from the band Dope. Remember
Oh,
Dope?
I
Yeah.
absolutely remember Dope, and
I
I've
love
seen
Dope.
Dope twice.
And he was also the guitar player in Rock of Ages on
Everybody's-
Broadway for years, too.
Everything sucks.
So Virus has been here for 10 years.
That's awesome.
Can I sing their biggest hit? We're not going to
You
get
can.
die, motherfucker, die,
Yeah,
motherfucker,
yeah,
die.
yeah.
Wait, having said that, I do want to mention that we're Let There Be Rock School, but we really don't just do rock music. In
Okay.
fact, the 2 people that I had on The Voice, one was Audra McLaughlin. She's
Yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of my job with her was to figure out what type of artist she should be or would be or whatever. We worked a very long time.
Mhm.
She ended up on the country side of things. And then I had Haley Green, who's from Mississippi, actually. She comes into us when she's local, and she's kind of like that New Orleans bluesy
Creole
kind of
Creole, yeah,
kind of
yeah.
artist.
Real soul.
So yeah, we don't just do rock. I've done actually a ton of country out of there, but also, pop. It's more about giving you the confidence that a rock star has. I mean, that's kind of how I would describe it, and it could really be any genre.
Oh, I have the confidence. I just don't have what they call talent. That's the difference. Like that's
It's
where
like,
I.
it's like
I
karate.
got you.
But
I got you.
I don't. Listen, I have way. My wife will tell you, I will have way too much confidence to do things that I shouldn't do. except for losing weight. That I have no confidence in doing, and I gave up on it. But like I said, I think we could do that. We should set something up at one point. I want to come check this place out. It sounds amazing. Number one, be like a cool little out of the studio video and come out and check you guys out. But I think this could be interesting. Can somebody teach Big how to sing? That would be amazing.
Done.
This is amazing.
Is it like because I used to do coach pitch baseball, like I used to coach that, and like when you did coach pitch, you didn't learn how to teach the kid how to swing because it's all about confidence building. You just learn to find out where the kid's bat will be normally and throw the ball to that spot at the exact same time. Is that kind of what it's like? You're gonna find a song that even this moron can't screw up type thing.
Well, you're really good because that's a kind of exactly what I do.
She's like, I'm really good with working with morons.
I would actually give you something that that's kind of my specialty is really finding looking at the talent and sort of figuring out what's their thing.
Here's
what are
Frankie's
they going to be good
winner.
at?
It's instrumental, but I mean, you'll rock.
I've had this deep voice since like 7th grade, and like they would do school shows and they wouldn't let me sing. They would just like, where there's like a deep part, and I would just go, it would be like the and barbecue sauce.
Most great singers.
Like that's like just.
Dude, most great singers.
That was good. I heard the pitch in there.
Yeah,
that was
that's
good.
Yeah, swinging a miss on that pitch for me. But no, guys, thank you for stopping by tonight.
Thanks for
so
having
guys,
us,
check them out. I have all the information popping up on the screen here, and we'll catch you guys next time.